Man, I actually, welcome to, I was just saying to my wife, I love our theme music for this
Yes,
podcast.
I do. Da, da, da,
Dun,
da,
dun, dun,
da,
dun.
da. It makes me want to.
Makes me want to get up and travel.
I know. It does.
Well, welcome everybody to My Family Guide, travel, podcast, where we talk about travel and
All things family
all
friendly.
things family friendly. If my voice sounds weird, it's because we're in the Pacific Northwest, and it's going to be 80 degrees today, which is great for our vitamin D intake, but for allergies, the cherry blossoms are like blooming now, and it's a month late, and my allergies are just absolutely killing me, so I apologize for my voice.
Yeah. It is beautiful though.
It
If
is.
you ever get up to the Pacific Northwest,
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
it's beautiful.
Beautiful.
That I know we deal with a lot of rain. This year was really hard, but
It makes it worth it because it makes everything green.
yeah, it's beautiful. So if you haven't been here, you need to do it.
Totally. My name is Ben, by the way. My lovely wife is always with me. Her name is Angela.
Hello, and we're excited to talk about. This is some stuff that we have experienced as parents. We're going to talk about what 15 items to pack for your kids.
Yeah. But
We-
first, I want to talk about the travel ban.
Oh, sure.
Because if anybody has heard about the travel ban, or not ban,
Advisory.
not a ban, travel ban, travel advisory for going into Europe. So I think it was the State Department issued a travel advisory for anyone traveling into Europe, and
Yeah,
I mean, if
I
you look at
get
the
it.
warning, if you look at the warning and what they say, it's like bad stuff could happen.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was reading this, and again, this was probably like 6 months ago, but there was some people from another country, and they were talking about what their travel advisory was for coming to the United States. And one of the places that they were forewarned about was Detroit. So, so you take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, yes, Detroit has its problems, but so does every other city. And
Yeah. But I mean, like,
So-
look, if you're an avid traveler, or you should know this stuff, but there's some people who don't. Look, always carry, if you're a woman, carry your purse
Yeah.
next to you, like.
hang on to it like I hang on to it like a football.
Yeah.
I mean, when I'm out and around, I've luckily, and maybe because I've either been lucky or smart, I've never had anything stolen from me when I've
Mhm.
traveled overseas.
Yeah.
I really try to be conscientious of my surroundings and what's going on, and I don't carry valuables with me. I just don't. I don't wear a lot of jewelry. I don't make myself flashy. I look pretty plain when I'm out. When we're out doing stuff, I don't want to draw attention to myself.
That's the thing, and just be mindful. Be mindful of, do research. I'll give you a good example, man. We kind of did our research when we went to our Mediterranean cruise, and we were looking at Athens,
Mm-hmm.
because that was one of the stops. And man, Athens.
It's not what I thought it was
No,
going to
and would I go back? I wouldn't want to go back, but if it were part of a trip, I would do it. But it wouldn't be a part of.
be. If someone said, "We're going to Athens and that's the only thing we're doing," would you go?
No, unless it was free.
Yeah.
Then I'd go, and
But
then
if they
and then I
said-
would take my then I would take my wash rag and my spray can of cleaning stuff and spray and get rid of the spray paint that is on it's
Yeah,
everywhere. It's a shame.
It's graffiti everywhere, and it's not just on little stuff. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
But we're kind of getting
We're
off.
getting
We're getting off topic.
We're getting off topic.
So, anyways, the travel advisory for Europe. It
is what it is.
Think about it, but it wouldn't keep me from going anywhere.
No.
You just need to be mindful of what you're doing and your surroundings. If you don't feel comfortable in a certain part of the city, don't go there.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Yeah. It's just like at home. There's places where we live that I just don't go to because I don't feel comfortable.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Yep, it is.
So, anyways, we're going to talk about our 15 items to pack as carry-on items when you're traveling with your kids.
Or with yourself. But with kids, it's a little bit more.
This is it could go, a lot of the stuff could go for anybody, but there's a few of them that are more geared towards
when we read them you'll know.
Yeah. So, our kids, we started traveling with them when our daughter she's going to be 9 next month, and our son is 5. And we took her on her first plane ride when she was less than 3 months old. And so she's very familiar with flying, and so is our son. And so there's a lot of things we've learned along the way as parents, traveling solo with them or together. As different ages as they've gotten older and what we need to do. So this is just a few things that we're going to go over. So the first one is medicine. Now, our daughter, for instance, she has an allergy to nuts, and we have to make sure that we bring her EpiPen along, and we pack any Benadryl. And now some people would say, well, what about the fluid? You can only have up to 3 ounces of whatever for on your carry-on. Well, if you show that you have an EpiPen and it's Benadryl and you have a doctor's note, the security will be fine. I've never had them challenge me. Actually, I just put it through, and I've never had them challenge me with it at all. But that's a big thing. So even if it's not an EpiPen, but you have other medication for yourself or your child, you want to make sure that you have that readily available. Don't pack that in your regular suitcase, that you check, because you never know. Especially, I'm still surprised that they serve peanuts on planes, especially with so many.
Southwest does.
Southwest, yeah, but I think, I don't know if United and Delta, if they still serve peanuts, but I'm just surprised that airlines serve nuts, with how much nut allergy there is, not even with just kids, but with the population in general. Crackers or pretzels would seem to be like a easier go-to.
United just serves punches.
Oh, that's bad. Bad. That's bad. Oh my god. Wow.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. There you go, folks. Your joke of the day. I'm done. I'll be here all week. Tip your waitress.
Oh gosh. Well, but some of the other stuff though too that we pack is either Dramamine.
Yes.
Ibuprofen.
Yes.
Because you never know when you're on a plane. Or I'll pack cold medicine too, because especially in the winter or even in the summer when you're getting that whole like hot cold thing and you get that that sinus congestion, I pack that stuff along too for my kids. It sounds like I probably douse them with a lot of medicine, but I only pack it when necessary. But the worst thing is when you're trying to fly.
She's neurotic, folks.
The worst thing is when you're flying and your kids feel awful and there's nothing that you can do to help them.
That's very true. I make fun of her, but it's like, it's like when you need it, you wish you had it, and when you have it, it's like you don't need it. But when that one time that you need, the one time when you have if you have kids and and they're just congested and they're just miserable and they have to fly, there is nothing worse than that pressure on your poor kid's head,
Mm-hmm.
and
I dealt with, there was only one time I dealt with, like, I felt like my head was going to explode when I was, and you weren't with me. I had the kids by myself, and I just had the worst sinus pressure, and it was awful.
Mm-hmm.
And I even had medicine, and it didn't help. And I felt like my head was going to
Mm-hmm.
explode. It's worse. So if I felt like that as an adult, I can't even imagine a child trying to comfort them when they're feeling
Yep.
horrible. But so medicine's a big thing. This is another one that we've learned our
Number
lesson
2.
on is using empty reusable water bottles. So a lot of the airports now, well, I know we're lucky, I guess, maybe, but in Portland, they have a lot of these water filling stations past security. So we always bring our you can either use an empty plastic water bottle, but we have our own water bottles. We drink a lot of water. It's just what we do. And they're empty before we go through security. And then once we pass security, usually by the bathrooms is where they have the water fountains, and then they'll have the water filling station there. And I've seen a lot more airports that are doing it. But even just using the water fountain to fill up your water bottle, it just saves a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And also, my kids get thirsty, and they don't want to wait until beverage service comes around on the plane. And so, yes, you might be taking them to the bathroom more often, but I'm sure.
You mean I will be taking them to the bathroom?
Well, it depends.
Yeah, she's laughing because she knows I'm right. She's sitting there.
Well, he's always like, "Daddy, Daddy." Our son's like, "Daddy, Daddy." No, I want Daddy. So I'm like, "All right, go, Daddy." Your son wants.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm never there to hear that.
But as if you've traveled and you know how much bottles of water at the airport,
Mm-hmm.
how much they are, it's insane.
Yep.
They charge you a crazy amount. So that's a good one. Small blankets. Now, even as adults, if I don't want to bring a small blanket, like if it's the summertime, I'll at least try to bring a fleece.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's cold on the planes. And, it just...
They have those ones you can zip up that are a pillow,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can unzip them in their blanket.
Yep. That's what we have. We have one of those. But we also have fleeces. It might be summertime,
Mm-hmm.
it might be hot, but still on the plane, sometimes you're just...
But you get cold regardless.
I do.
You're a cold
And
person.
our son is too.
Yeah.
Our daughter, she isn't.
Yeah.
But I still make her bring one because sometimes they just get cold. And it's horrible when you're cold, and I'd rather take off layers than trying to find layers to put on.
Number 4.
Let's see. We're on number 4 is extra clothes. Now, I have a few stories about this one, but I made the mistake, and I should have known better because I had traveled many a times for this, but our son was potty training, and I forgot to pack the extra clothes along in the suitcase, or in our carry-on. And I knew better, and I just forgot to do it. It wasn't like, oh, he'll be fine, but I really just forgot to do it. Well, I learned my lesson. This is when you were gone. I was traveling with the kids, and and our son was potty training. He was doing pretty well, and we were going from Portland to Las Vegas, and then Las Vegas to Milwaukee,
Mm-hmm.
and we got on the he said he had to go to the bathroom, so we went to the bathroom. We did that. Then again, he said he had to go. We went again. This is all the way to Vegas. Okay, so this is only like a 2-hour flight. All right, so we did this, and then we're getting off the plane in Vegas, and I was like, okay, we're gonna all go to the bathroom again before we have to board to go to Milwaukee. And he was in his stroller, and I went to lift him up, and he had peed all over the stroller. He had peed all through his shorts, his underwear, and his shirt. Okay?
What's wrong with that? I do
So,
that every
anyways,
weekend.
I was so mad at myself because I was looking through my backpack and I was like, I know I have clothes in here, and I didn't, and I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So I had to buy a $20 Las Vegas T-shirt for my son that was 3 years old.
Mm, mm, mm.
Because what was I going to do? I mean, he's not
Mhm.
going to sit in his pee all day. So
Mhm.
I was like, oh my God. So make sure you have your checklist. Put that on the list. You'll save yourself some money and some headache. But yeah, that was a. And that kind of goes into one of my next ones is bringing wipes along. Okay. I usually pack two kinds of wipes, antibacterial and the flushable wipes. You can get the travel size ones at the store, the antibacterial, which are perfect to put in your backpack. And I use the antibacterial ones to wipe down our table tray and the armrest because, you know, we all do this, and our kids too, that they cough or they got germs and they touch everything, and so I can kind of get a germaphobe. But especially when you're on a plane and it's small quarters, I just wipe everything down before, you know, my kids touch anything. And then the wipes are always perfect for, you know, after the bathroom.
Yeah.
Just make sure to
Do
clean them up.
do a test. This is a test. Take a wipe. Bring a wipe with you. Pull down your tray table, okay, and then wipe it, and then look at the wipe, okay. If it is, just do that and take a picture of it and send it to us. If you're, just do it. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the stuff you find, and this is after they've done their pre-boarding.
Oh, they've quote unquote
Cleaning?
cleaned. Yeah.
It's
It's
nasty.
Gross. Share it with us.
Yeah.
You can do it on our Facebook page.
Totally do it.
It's at My Family Guide is our Facebook handle, or you can do Instagram # My Family
That
Guide.
Family Guide is our Twitter handle.
And it's My Family at My Family Guides. But do or you can take us on Instagram at # My Family Guide. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what you find. All right, so we're on number 6, plastic bags. I cannot tell you how happy I've been to have just those disposable plastic bags that you get at the grocery store. Especially, and it was useful. This I did remember to pack when I had my little incident with my son on the trip, was his wet potty clothes. You don't want those sitting in your purse or your backpack.
Yep.
So those plastic bags are a lifesaver for wet. Even if the kids spill on themselves like juice on their shirt or anything, or garbage on the plane, or you're in the airport or something, those plastic bags are very helpful. So I usually have like 4 or 5, and they're easy to throw in the side of your backpack. But it saved me a lot of trouble just by having them. Let's see, what are we on? 7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ziploc bags with sliders. Now, I usually will pack I'll pack the gallon size and the quart size. Now, what I do is the airlines usually give you guys a snack, and I pack my other ones along. But why I like having them is they're bigger for the kids to hold on to, and if stuff falls out, it usually goes into the bag. Or why I pack those along too is if the kids don't finish their snacks from the airplane, I can throw them in there with a slider. I know it's going to be shut. Otherwise, the ones where you have to like squeeze them shut, I don't like it. I like the slider.
Okay.
This
is all you.
I
This
know.
is all your stuff. I have no input here.
Or if you're traveling to, let's say you're at a restaurant at the airport and you have some leftover food. Let's say it's a grilled cheese. You can throw it in one of those because the kids will eat it on the plane. I'm telling you. Kids are expensive.
You could take that. You could take some sugar packets.
I do not
some
take.
Tea.
I do not take
Some Sanka packets.
I do not. I bought my grilled cheese. If the kid only ate half of it, I'm taking the other half with
Okay,
me.
Grandma, that's
I'm
fine.
doing that.
I understand.
Sugar packet. If I didn't drink coffee, I'm not taking the sugar packets. Okay. I don't know. What are we on, number 8? Your cell phone and tablet chargers.
Yes.
Okay. There's nothing worse than being stuck at the airport with only like a 5% battery remaining. Again, if your flight is delayed or canceled, what are you supposed to do? When your suitcase is on the next plane, you don't know what's happening next, your phone is dead, what are you going to do? They do have chargers. Some airports are getting a little more friendly with that. Some of them do have chargers available for people to use free of charge, but a lot of the time they charge
I've
you.
never seen a free one. I have never yet seen a free one.
There's been a few that I've seen that are free, but usually they charge you. So it's a good idea to make sure you put that in your carry-on.
Remember when we didn't have cell phones, what would happen if there were delays? I don't remember that.
I do. I got stuck in Chicago at O'Hare several times, and I would be on the payphones along with everybody else. And mind you, I'm not that old. I'm less than 40. And this was getting stuck there.
Wow.
It was horrible.
Well.
I know. All right, I don't even know what number we're on. I still have some more here. Print your travel reservations.
I'm going to add on to that charging thing.
Okay.
Bring a power strip.
Yes. You know why?
Yes, I do know why.
Well, maybe our listeners need to know why.
Well, tell them.
Okay. Well, a power strip is nice because you can make a lot of friends at the airport. So usually you find an outlet, it's booked up by somebody else, right? Especially when you're at like in Atlanta or Chicago or San Francisco, a lot of these big hubs. But if you have a power strip with you, they can take up some room, but
you make a lot of friends.
Yeah, think about it. You can put like 5 other people on there.
Yep, and if you're traveling with your kids alone, it's better to have It's better to have like 5 friends on the flight with you than nobody, especially if your kid isn't feeling well or if you want to get up and whatever.
Yep, and you can charge multiple devices.
Yeah,
so
that's
you're not
true.
just waiting on one. So
That's
it's a
true.
good idea to have that along.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's right. Print your travel reservations. So I know there's an app for everything, but what happens if you lose your phone? Ben.
Yeah, I've lost my phone a couple times.
So what do you do then? If you depend on your phone for everything and you lose your phone, how do you know where the heck you're staying, what the phone number is to the hotel, any of that stuff? I print everything. It may seem old school, but I have my manila folder and I put everything in there. It starts with my airline reservations.
Yep.
It's printed. Then behind that, I put our car reservations if we have a car. Then after that, I put our hotel reservations and I staple it all together in the order in which we're traveling. So I'm not flipping through stuff and I don't know where things are. I staple it all together in the order and the sequence in which our vacation's going.
Yep, and a copy of your passport.
If you're, traveling
abroad. This goes with the travel travel advisory.
Mm-hmm. That goes to the next one, actually.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you want photocopies of your passport, driver's license, or your birth certificate, especially if you're going with your kids. And you can have a photocopy in your backpack, but what you could do is you could also take a picture of it and email it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need to get online or email it to family and friends if you're traveling overseas. So that way they have a copy of it too.
Especially.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're on a ship or in a hotel, if you're staying in a hotel or a resort or you're something where you're going to be staying consecutive days, they all have safes there. Put it in the safe. Put that in the safe, and if something heaven forbid something happens, you have it there.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't make just one coffee
No,
though.
no.
I put one. I usually have one in my purse.
Yep.
I have one in my backpack.
Yep.
I have one in my suitcase.
Yep.
Because the chances of all three of them being stolen
Yeah.
are unlikely. But then I also email one, and I email one to my family, and then I also have one saved in our Dropbox
Yep.
account too.
Yep.
So you can never be
Too safe.
with all of that. Now this one probably isn't as general for most audiences, but this is more for parents. But pull-ups for your kids. So, like our son, like I mentioned earlier. Now he was doing really well being potty trained. I thought he was, but then it was like, okay, do I want an accident again? Do I want to try to deal with, a stroller that's full of pee and deal with it? So especially when you're potty training your kids, it's always a good idea to have those extra pull-ups, even if you think they're going to be okay, because sometimes they fall asleep on the plane and you never know if they're going to have an accident. And then the last thing you want to do is your kids sitting in a seat on the plane where they just peed, and then you got to try to deal with all of that. So
that goes back to our wipes. Get your wipes.
Get the wipe, because you don't know what kid just peed in the seat right before you.
Our goal is to make you all germaphobes by the end of this segment. You'll be washing your hands every 5 minutes.
I know. Well, and the other thing why you have it too is you think, well, I have a direct flight, it's going to be okay. Yes, but what if your flight gets canceled and you have all of your stuff in the suitcase? Yep. Okay. I have looked in airports to see if they carry diapers or pull-ups for the size that I needed for my son, and that's not always there. So it's just better to just pack those extra and leave them in your backpack or your carry-on. Don't leave it to chance. All right, let's see here. What are we on? 13. Okay. This my kids really enjoy, even though they're getting older, they still like this too. Dollar Tree treats, or the dollar store treats. Now, I usually try to find some new little toy, or something that they haven't played with before, because usually if you bring something from home, they might like it for a little bit and then they're bored with it. So I might go to the dollar store and just buy a couple things for each of them. Spend $6, get them each. Yeah,
because if they lose it, who cares?
Yeah, it's $1.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many things we've lost under the seats and you can't get them, or they've been left in restaurants or the hotel rooms under the beds. We try not to bring the good toys along with us when we go anywhere, because half the time they get lost anyways.
Yep. First aid kits.
14, yeah. First aid kit. So
pretty much self-explanatory.
Yeah, they see it. They have the travel size first aid kits, but usually I'll put it in my backpack, and they can be found in most big box stores. If you go down the travel aisle, where you can get shampoos and toothpaste and stuff, they usually have small travel kits that you can bring along, and I just leave them in our backpacks all the time. Like I don't take it out after we come back from a trip. They just stay in there, because our kids, they're like fall from something, or they cut themselves, or who knows. Kids are kids, and you can't be too prepared. And last thing, number 15, a sewing kit. Now this might seem a little silly, but even if you don't sew, you don't necessarily have to have a sewing kit, but what I have is probably 100 safety pins that I bought, because things rip, you lose zippers, you can put a safety pin on a zipper and pull it up. If you get a tear in your clothes, you could use a safety pin to just keep it shut till you figure out what you're doing next if you don't want to sew.
Or if your kid, goes potty in their pants, you can just, you can knit some new pants for them while you're waiting. You're sewing kids,
I know, sewing kids. Lost buttons for shirts. It's those little things, I'm telling you, that I've learned along the way. These 15 items may seem like it's a lot to pack, but really, if you find yourself a good sized backpack, it doesn't have to be one of those big traveler ones. We just have a regular backpack that we use, and we just leave almost the majority of these things in there all the time. And it's less running around we have to do when we plan our next trip.
Yep, totally.
So these were our 15 items that we had, and hopefully you'll find them useful. But if you can't remember all of them, you can review them on our blog again. That our website is myfamilyguide.com/blog. You can view it on there or just review our podcast again.
Let us know what you think and what do you bring? What did we forget off the list?
Is there something that you've learned along the way that we should have added to our list, or comments in our blog or on our podcast below?
Let us know. All right, we will talk to you tomorrow about something else.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Have a nice travel day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.